Good morning, Dragon Randomizer fans, and welcome to group stage action here in the summer 2026 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. We have quad race action today, two separate 1v1s up top. Out of the Garenham group, we have Vriaeliss 42 taking on Kigalas, and on the bottom, we have out of the Cantlin group, Destiny of a Dragon Warrior versus Vriaeliss. Hi everybody, I'm DK9146. Alongside me in the booth today is Hoodie Two Shoes. Hoodie, how you doing?
I'm doing great. This is an action-packed day full of racing action. This is the first week of the summer tournament, and boy, has it been exciting so far. There's a lot more to go. It's very, very good stuff. So if you're new around here and you're interested, we got a lot more of this to come. Our racers are starting with 5 strength today, which could have been exciting, but they also have the spell of return, which means they will keep those keys. So they have some possibilities here, DK.
Yeah, and we'll see what the king decides to bless them with in the throne room, who decides to do what. When we head outside, we're going to see 6 towns. We're going to see nothing but despair, maybe a lot of swamp. It's always kind of fun here, but just a reminder, just remember the top racers are separate from the bottom racers, all racing the same seed, though.
Yep, definitely. So we'll have to see what these first 2 chests in the throne room are, see if they give us any advantage, like a torch or a fairy water could help get a kill, even though the strength is low. Obviously, Erdrick's sword or armor could be a huge boost. Some gold is great if there's a nearby town. They're going to get the key, so they might be able to get something out of the treasury as well. We'll see if anything is good for them or if the game still provides them with nothing.
Yeah, that's always the dream, at least from the viewer perspective. The runner's obviously looking for a little something here, but we should be going momentarily. They'll find out about all the fun stuff. We'll get some fun instructions from the king and figure out what our path is going to be going forward. And here we go, live action.
So we're going to hear Lorik explain that the ball of light is no longer in the possession of the kingdom and that the hero should retrieve it from that nasty dragon lord. We've got gold to start, so they're going to get a full slate of keys, dragon scale. So yeah, they've got the return spell and gold, which means that you don't even have to worry about wasting a key.
Yeah, that's real nice. You just come in, buy the keys. We'll see who decides to go check downstairs first versus going to check the treasury first, but everybody doing the exact same stuff here, hit and return, coming back in to get their keys.
Yep, and so again, we'll see if they're able to get... Whoa, looks like Vriaeliss decided not to go into the castle right away. I'm not sure what the thought was there, but yeah, they will be able to buy keys with that gold and retain them. So normally when you start with a key, you have the option of sacking the key to see if there's something in the treasury, but they don't even have to worry about that.
Oh baby, Brian getting NPC'd here. Went to go check the treasury, said that guard said nope, so he's he's just back over here. He's gonna go maybe check the basement, as Kigalas is also down that way right now. We lost half the gold on Vriaeliss' side. Is gonna go ahead and buy keys with what's left. We have stones in the basement with another key.
So that is not going to help their 5 strength situation. There's still a bunch of options in the treasury. Again, I think torch, fairy water, what you're looking for, Erdrick's sword, sure, Erdrick's armor, yes. Gold, also something you're paying attention to in this early stage to try to get out of 5 strength jail.
Absolutely. So we'll see what we got. Everybody hitting up this treasury. Well, 3 of the 4. The 4th will be there in a moment. Top left, we got a fairy water. Bottom left, we got a torch. Middle, we got wings. Oh, we have a torch. And NPC'd again and gold in the bottom right.
So pretty in terms of getting you what you need to not have to try to punch a Drakey with the bad number of strengths. There are red slimes though. It's pretty much all plains, so yeah, they're gonna be fine with that fairy water torch combo.
Yeah, red slime's a little spicy with its big boy breath there, and Kigalas finds out real quick.
But like even in the worst scenario, they've got the gold, the torch, and the fairy water, so they have keys. They can just infinitely replenish those things to get as much XP as they need before they're ready to not just die. So I think that they're looking for smooth sailing here.
Yeah, Destiny shows us there's a cave just off to the northeast here, and we have Tablet Cave, so another free item if he wants to take the steps down, but opts not to currently.
Yeah, Destiny is not a fan of diving tablet unless he has access to the outside spell, which he does, but he just doesn't have the MP to use it. So potentially we'll check it on another go around. I bet Brian's going to check it, though, when he sees the tablet. There are no encounters in the tablet cave. It's just a long walk. That's why some runners may not do it, but you won't die in here. You'll just spend time.
Yeah, Destiny gets a good kill on a Drachima there. 111, 41 MP and repel.
And Vriaeliss sees the metal scorpion, so with access to the fairy water and torch, should be able to get a metal scorpion pretty freely, but looks like Vriaeliss is taking swings and gonna get sent home.
And we got an herb at the bottom of the tablet cave, so nothing major, just a little healing.
Yep, just a valuable, not only valuable for the check knowledge. I mean, the healing is nice too, but not really a consequential item there.
Yeah, we saw level 3, not very consequential, 2929 and no spells, so MP pretty decent, just not a lot of spell that we need to use on so far.
Looks like Destiny went back in for some gold. Didn't take another torch or fairy water though, which I guess he has 28 XP already, maybe doesn't need it. $310, $350 for Brian there, my goodness.
Yeah, this has been it's been very interesting so far. We're gonna be very magical boys. We just need some spells to use the magic with.
We can cast Radiant so many times.
Oh, this Star Wyvern going to stop Brian just shy of a town. So he saw a town, was about to walk in, one step away, denied.
Yeah, early on, I'd say that Metal Scorpion is looking like your best buddy, because like I said, even in the worst of situations, you can just freely get a torch and a fairy water every time you leave the castle, and that's good for 31 XP.
Yeah, buddy. And now Destiny with some MP going to go ahead and come down into this tablet cave, get this herb, get information that he doesn't have to ever come back down here again. Yeah, Brian re-upping on all the things, including some gold. Heck, not using the MP for anything else, returns out of the treasury. I mean, it saves a few steps.
And Destiny did indeed go check that herb chest when he had access to outside and didn't have to make that second half of the walk, so saves a little bit of time there.
We find out the wolf has hurt more on one of the screens and less than ideal, but levels are going to keep coming. We'll see if Brian can make it over to this town. Others will eventually see this town, but it is a little scary as you head that way.
Yeah, and carrying like 1,100 gold, pretty good. You'd be able to get a copper sword and a large shield would probably be the ideal, but a hand axe and a chainmail or something like that is also possible.
We see Vriaeliss re-upping here in the treasury. We see Destiny also, after having seen the town and also being denied by the Star Wyvern, going back in and re-upping. I think it's a decent play here for sure. Just have some cash. But Brian makes it to the town, which obviously was going to be Hawksness, and there we go.
Perfect. I think Cantlin is probably the best town just because it's easy, like it's faster to get them, but like it gives you the most options for weapons and armor, and you can also buy fairy water, which as we've seen, with the wolves and the metal scorpions, I think fairy water really going to be the play unless you get hurt or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. So Brian giving us a little bit of exploration here. He's kind of south of the start across the water, opted to head back under the starting area. There was an east path there as well. A couple others have opted to just go ahead and hang out here in the desert, start trying to grind out some leveling. Brian's super close, as is Kigalas, to this next level. In fact, that magician does it for Kigalas.
Yeah, and 2 XP away now for Vriaeliss as level 5 comes with 14, 9, 0, 7, and hurt more, so that's really important to get 82 XP in the seed.
Absolutely, and with all of that MP, you got so many hurt mores to throw. You just throw with impunity, killing everything. There goes a wolf immediately. So yeah, game on for all these runners as they hit level 5.
Yeah, and healing going to be really important at this point. Like you said, with all that MP, almost impossible to be able to use it all without dying unless you have some form of healing. So get what you can when you can.
Yeah, even for Brian, if he had hurt more, you hurt more at Drachima, you hurt more everything. But luckily he gets away from it and is going to get his level 5. We've got level 5 down here for Vriaeliss, and Destiny just shy of level 5.
Yeah, should be there imminently for Destiny, and then everyone will be on the same foot. So no one really getting out to too bad of a start here. Like, there's a little disparity, but with Hurtmore, this is nothing. So all 4 racers looking pretty similar. And again, the top 2 players are racing each other distinctly separate from the bottom 2 racers, who are also racing each other, and they don't care about the other races.
Yeah, and different race rooms, they won't even know when others finish, which is nice. We get news that there's an armored knight on the spike. Kigalas gets ambushed, and he's dead. And Vriaeliss also getting ambushed, and he's dead.
So that's an interesting one, because with Hurtmore, that is a gettable enemy, but with their HP at 30, you know, it's not going to be easy. You're going to need extreme luck or to get some more HP before getting that bad boy taken down.
Yeah, level 6, as we saw from Kigalas, not really helpful on the HP front. Brian's about to get his +1 on HP. We did get a moderate strength gain, but, you know, with Hurtmore, not as important. But the killing will continue.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if the seed opens up, but at least at this early junction, it is incredibly linear. So all of the players are kind of forced into making the same routing decisions at this point. Won't see a lot of disparity until if the map does open up. Won't see it until then.
Well, Brian just found a zone with a golem in it. He's trying to see if anything of Hurtmoreable nature exists here as well. And of course, in the desert, getting no encounters whatsoever, because that's how this game works. They don't show up when you want them. They do when you don't.
Kigalas hitting the 13 out of 16 chance to hit on the Wraith Knight. The 3 out of 16 is just enough to be frustrating. We'll see what level 7 has to offer with 2, 12, 4, 1, and stop spell.
Well, I mean, we'll take some more agility. Eventually, that does occasionally play into the game. But the HP's still lacking pretty hard. Star Wyvern with Hurt, and it's enough to let him go ahead and... no, just throw another Hurtmore. There you go. You have 3 HP and a ton of MP. Just throw the Hurtmore.
And that's a 1 in 16 chance to miss a Hurtmore on the Star Wyvern you just witnessed on Kigalas' screen. You hate to see it.
Yeah, that was my fault. It's like, just throw the Hurtmore. Obviously, that was going to work. Nah, it didn't work.
Well, you know, when it's a 15 out of 16 chance to work, you think it's going to work.
So I think we'll see some relatively rapid experience gains here. Unfortunately, the werewolf, Brian does an 8 physical, not enough to get it even with the Hurtmore, and takes an L there. Destiny just shy of level 7. Brian just shy of level 7. And Vriaeliss going to go retop off some stuff out of this treasury as well. Keeping an eye on the keys. That's always a smart play, because we don't know where additional keys are located.
Yeah, it would be a real punt, like an own goal to get rid of the key on accident, like to not pay attention to your inventory in this one.
And now Kigalas finds out that they 54 strength isn't really a lot against a Sharlike tier enemy. Only does a 4 physical to the Star Wyvern after the Hurtmore didn't take it out, and dies without a successful kill.
And you don't often see a race with 4 players where essentially they're all in exactly the same situation 11 minutes in. You know, there's a little bit of difference, but really the seed is very linear, and they've all got Hurtmore. So the XP is not that, it's just wild. Like, it's a very tight race.
And we're going to try and get Hoodie a ladder to get out of the hole he just fell into. No clue what happened with your audio, but it sounded like you were down a tunnel. Well, XP is very tight. We're not gaining as much as I think these runners probably would have hoped that we would, commentating from a secure bunker. Yeah, I think it's settled down, and just get what you can. Brian's still trying to press this zone up here. Star Wyvern, very nice, and he is creeping up on level 8. Everybody's kind of progressing that way.
How we doing now?
Hey, you're back. There you go.
All right, love to see that. Yeah, Brian picking up that Magic Wyvern, right? 21270.
Yeah, this zone seems pretty decent. The golem keeps showing up, but the Magic Wyvern is also, you don't get ambushed. That is just primo right now with this lower HP count that we have. Level 8 getting us all the way to 42.
And the HP is still not looking very good for trying an attempt at that Armored Knight. You could survive, though. Like, someone could be cheeky and just go in there, get first attack, and, get hit for less than 34.
Yeah, I was trying to keep an eye on. I saw Jay Cooper mention in chat about the Hawk Zone, and I was trying to see what all was in there. I keep seeing the Magician, and that Stone Man feels real bad. I love Brian's zone. It's working out really well. Wherever this Droll Magi Kigalas just found might also be a decent zone for early hurt more. Destiny opted to just do this Eastern zone with the Wolf and the Metal Scorpions, and he's tricking along here.
Yeah, Brian with this Magic Wyvern seems to have found the best option, at least if you get the Magic Wyvern. I haven't been paying attention to the other enemies in the zone, but that's a great find.
Yeah, a bunch of Magic Wyverns. We got some Golems. I think a Dracula in there as well. So he's getting pretty frequent here, and there's level 9.
Four, 6, 8 HP is pretty good for this juncture. That might make you feel confident enough to try the Armored Knight.
Yeah, I mean, if you get first action, it's almost a guarantee. Obviously, you got to dodge the fact that it could go first, or that 1 in 16 miss on a hurt more. But otherwise, it's should be pretty straightforward, I'd say.
Even at level 8, you could try. I mean, there's a fair chance that you get hit for 42 with 35 defense, but I'd say level 8 or 9, it's reasonable. It's definitely reasonable at 9, but I think it's pretty reasonable at 8 to give it a shot.
Yeah, and that little flash to the stats there, 60 strength and 72 agility already at this level, plus all of that MP they have. HP definitely the straggling stat here.
Yeah, and hurt more early starts aren't always super jets. They can be, but very often it's the HP that can make you can have low agility or low HP or both, and it can be a hard time even with hurt more.
Brian comes in. The Hawks cannot escape the Magic Wyverns. They are just everywhere, so it gets him another one down. Obviously going to heal up, go into this fight, and we'll see if we can get our first check at what's under an Armored Knight in Hawk's Nest.
And having access to the heal spell also incredibly important.
First action was huge. Gets it off. Armored Knight uses the axe. We're going to throw out that second hurt more, and it lands. So that's a dead Armored Knight, 172, and then a search.
Token, a required item, needed to happen, but not going to be as impactful as the armor, or to a lesser extent in the Seed the Sword.
And Brian's going to pop off, heal up and come back. He's got some hurt mores left. You might as well here kill 2 more, and you got level 10.
Yeah, I think the odds are reasonably good that that you get the kill, and you only need, the 1 plus another Magic Wyvern, but you'll try another one. But yeah, like 172 when you only have 1200 XP is huge.
Yeah, going well so far. Got first action again, so we should be seeing level 10. Meanwhile, Kigalas into Hawks here at level 9. Little low on the MP though, so we'll need to be able to maintain and hold on to the last 13 he has to get there. But we're getting 2 power, 10 agility, 13 HP is huge, and 6 more MP.
Yeah, that's a pretty great level. That helps a lot. We do have repel. We don't have heal more. We'll see. Brian's probably just going to use up the MP here. We'll see if he comes back afterwards, but I'd be inclined to say he might be thinking about pushing out a little bit with the XP or the HP gain and the spell of heal and repel.
Yeah, especially seeing how your stats are coming along, this could be one of those early go levels. We're already to level 10, we're only 17 and change into the seed, and we're knocking on the door of getting to those go levels metrics that we're looking for here. Kigalas is successful at getting his token as well, so we'll see how he opts to play it from here. Meanwhile, Destiny grinding in the zone wants that Magic Wyvern, and Vriaeliss talking to Arcane again.
And both races are relatively close. Again, the top race is separate from the bottom race, so they're not in consideration with each other. So we think of them separately. And so with both players in both races pretty close, this is pretty exciting.
No, absolutely agree. Brian says he's going to come back in for another go-round, it looks like. Maybe wanting just a little bit more HP because, sometimes you run into DL2 Stoneman on the overworld and you're going to die.
Yeah, that's fair. And, 60 HP is definitely not the same as walking around with like 80 plus HP.
All right, Destiny got that level 9. He's going to go ahead and give his run at this Armored Knight. We got level 9 now for Vriaeliss. We'll see if he comes over as well. We'll see if Brian decides to go back in and think that Stone Man was a fluke. He should be running 82 agility. Should have go, but sometimes games got jokes.
Yeah, gonna be persistent with his plan. Figure that if he sees another Stone Man, he'll get to go first, and he does, and he hits the 7/8 chance for the sleep. So yeah, so far all according to plan.
So here's where we're going to break into the difference on the top race. Brian going back in the grind. Kigalas is going to press the exploration. Both our bottom runners in that race now taking on their Armor Knights respectively to get their tokens. And looks like Destiny is successful at getting his. And Vriaeliss did go first and will also be successful at his.
All right, just a little bit of an XP difference, but not huge. So again, things progressing pretty interestingly here in this race. As Kigalas is pushing out a little bit to see if he can find something. So far, the only location we have seen is the Tablet Cave and Hawksness.
Yeah, Tablet, Hawksness, and a lot of linear map, but it does look like it does open up a little here where Kigalas, you can go south, back to the west, or northeast from here. So maybe this will be another delineation point for our runners to find things and get lost.
And it does look like Vriaeliss is maybe setting out a bit again as Brian gets level 11 on that Armored Knight here. Comes with 1 strength, no agility, 7 HP and 2 MP, so a little bit more HP. See if he's going to continue to grind. Looks like he might be thinking about moving around now.
Yeah, meanwhile, Kig gets Blue Dragon and is back at the start. Destiny does opt to go ahead and continue to grind here inside. He's one of them away from level 10. We did see Vriaeliss push out immediately after the token. The torch, not enough to finish off the Star Wyvern. He's going to go see the king again.
Unfortunate. The Star Wyvern is one of those enemies that if you don't hit the hurt more, don't kill it with 1 hurt more, even a hurt is not a guarantee to kill it. So you just got to hope for the best.
All right, so Brian has opted to go ahead and press out into the overworld, and we'll see. He says, I don't want to deal with that swamp, and takes the southerly turn here.
It looks like Destiny's gonna stick around in Hawksness for a bit there, try to get some extra XP.
Yeah, I think it's a decent play. We saw Brian do it already. Destiny doing it now. Just knowing that your HP is a little low, regardless of whether there's bad enemies or not, you know that way you're in a much better position to not die once you're out on the overworld. Looks like Brian found the southern edge of our world.
Gets ambushed by the Star Wyvern as you do, but does get the 1 shot. So very nice. So players looking for pretty much anything, having the keys again. Almost easy to forget that they have keys, but they started the game with those keys and gold, and so pretty much any find is a good one except for Breckenary at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things they can do. They're in a very good position across the board to be able to do things. But Brian does find us another location. We have the town of Cantlin.
Yeah, and Cantlin is good for having 3 shops, one of which is behind a locked door, but again, they've got the keys. And there's also the old man with the knowledge about whether the coordinates exist and where they are. And those coordinates have to be either the flute, the death necklace, a story item, or an Erdrick's gear. So very important.
Absolutely. And Brian does find a large shield in that top shop. So he's added 10 defense to himself, and we'll be just repelling that much more with 53 defense now.
Picking up herbs is nice. With this much MP, it's not as important. Although with only access to heal, having herbs does give you a slightly stronger option if you get caught in kind of a damage race situation or, you know, something like that. So it's always nice to have access to herbs.
And Destiny gets ambushed by the Armor Knight, so it does lose out on a lot of his MP. Meanwhile, Kig came across Garenham, does pick him up a small shield and hand axe, and is topping off his herbage and all of that stuff. And then we'll see what's in the back of Garenham while Brian's going to try and show us chords.
Yep, both key locked locations, and both players already with the keys, able to access them. So fantastic. You're going to see 3 checks here for Kigalas, and whether there's any coordinates or not for Brian.
We got chords 60 to the south, 81 to the east. You'll love to see the big numbers. 60 south, 81 to the east. And here goes the 3 checks for Kig.
And Brian has been on quite an extensive streak of not rescuing the princess. I'll be interested to see if he's going to try to keep that going, or you know, what his plan is around those coordinates.
Yes. Kigalas tells us we have money, a curse belt, and an herb in the back. And in the basement, we have Swamp South.
Well, there is a gold grind capable from this location if he wants it. I didn't really check the shop to know what was there, but if there was anything good, this is a place to potentially set up a chest glitch gold grind.
Yeah, I missed most of the shop, but there was definitely a silver shield in there. Meanwhile, we do have Brian immediately trying to manually count out these chords. So we'll see how this works out for him.
Oh, that's good. That's an Axe Knight Swamp Spike. That's great. Kigalas, that's a huge find, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Kig, I'm here already with this MP. Go ahead and just grind out another level at this point. Go top off after it, and that looks to be exactly what he's going to do.
And finding, you know, a spike grind with Hurtmore that's an Axe Knight is generally a very advantageous thing, but this seed does have the potential to have a low level go stat, so it might not be as important, and this seed is one where, you know, you need to get to like level 18 or 19.
Yeah, exactly. And Vriaeliss does validate the seed with a Spark Bridge check, and is not successful.
So we got Destiny picking up level 11 here in the bottom race. Been on that Armored Knight grind. Gets the extra, you know, the modest gain of HP. We'll see if he's going to continue. He probably will with this much MP continue on. Well, maybe not. Oh, yeah.
The Axe Knights continue to die for Kigalas. The Armor Knights for... Well, the Armor Knights were for Destiny, and Brian seems to have given up on the count. He stopped, kind of moved around a bunch. Maybe he's got an east-west coordinate and is just going to try and figure it out from here.
That looks to be the case, yeah. There's no treasure guards in standard, but, you know, that's funny. If this did end up being the item.
There is no one there in the forest, and at the very bottom of the world is not this way. So if he's on the right path here, he's got to go up a little bit. He's already searched that one, but the next one up and going from there is where he hasn't been yet.
Kigalas picking up level 12 here. It's going to come with 8 strength, 2 agility, 1 HP, 11 MP. They're inching closer and closer to go. I think Kigalas has decided that he's nice Axe Knight grind. That's great, but it's time to move on.
All right, so Brian does eventually get it and is rewarded with a very nice weapon. So we have the sword.
And that's pretty great. Armor probably better when you got hurt more, but still you're going to run into things that you want to swing on, and there's nothing better to swing on than Erdrick's sword.
And as coordinates tend to do, it takes him to a new location, which is Garenham. So he has found the ham. He's going to get him he was going to get him a hand axe and release that Erdrick sword. Oh, that's too bad. Top off, and he'll get the news of all the information in the back here. Maybe we'll see him on this Axe Knight in a moment.
And there is magic armor in Garenhem also. So, yeah, if you wanted Silver Shield magic armor, it's available through Garenhem. You can set up the grind there and pick up the items there.
Meanwhile, I know we've been a lot on the top, but that's where the action's been happening. On the bottom, we've seen a lot of map here from both these runners since they've both pressed out, but they're not coming across either of the locations our top runners have yet, or any new locations for that matter.
And the only required story item we found is the token. Everyone's got it. And then Brian's the only one who's found anything else of real import in the sword. Brian's going to find out about the Axe Knight here. Let's see what his thoughts are around grinding or not.
Oh yeah, we're definitely taking him down one regardless because he's right shy of level 12. So there's level 12 for him. He might stick it out for another level. We'll see.
Yeah, especially with HP still being, it's not low, but it's on the lower side of endgame HP. So might be interested in just seeing if you can get that little extra boost, potentially heal more. So if you run into a red, you can fight it.
Yeah, and especially with that sword, that would be very nice for him to be able to do so. We're at that point where we're mostly living through a DL2 breath if we do find one. Let's see if this is a new location for Vriaeliss, or is he coming? Yeah, he came in from Garenham from the other side. That's a little strange, but here we go.
Yep, and we are getting to the point where it's, time-wise and stat-wise. Like I said, there is a gold grind available, but you're getting to the point of thinking where you might not even consider it at all. So we'll see if any of the players decide to do it. It's readily available in there, but we might see none of them do it.
Yeah, for me personally, when I see this kind of seed where it seems like a lower level go, I'm pretty against doing the gold grind unless I just naturally fall into it, just because I don't want to waste the extra time thinking that my opponent will skip it and then I will be behind. But we'll see what happens. Brian's going to spend a little time on the grind here. If Kig can make some exploration up while Brian's grinding and just get it naturally, we got a tight race on both ends, though, to be quite honest. Destiny building a little bit of experience down at the bottom, though.
And that's one of the great things about this game is that no strat is good all the time. Like, you can't just you have to adapt to the situation at hand, because you can't just see Axe Knight, I have hurt more, I grind until go. The go could be very low in the map. You still a lot of things to like. It's just there's so many variables. You have to have a very fluid idea of a plan, and I think that's great.
All right, here we go. Destiny comes across Cantlin, so he'll also be joining the Large Shield Club, and we'll see if he wants to look at any of their shops for any other gear. Meanwhile, Vriaeliss just clears out the back of Garenham and will be attempting his own Axe Knight in a moment, I am certain.
Level 13 for Brian. I didn't see what it came with there.
Not a lot based on the little bit of stats that we just saw pop up on the as the stats rotate through. Yeah, still only 73 HP, so a +2, +7 to strength, so not a lot there.
7025, yeah, that's not huge. And hurt.
The hurt spell though, that's pretty critical.
I think Brian is going to go buy the full plate that he saw with the cash that he's got.
See, I do like that play. He came across some gold naturally here through a grind and everything, get you a bunch of defense. He'll be repelling a ton of this overworld at this point. And then we'll have mostly freedom to move around and know where a grind is should he need to come back and grind a little more towards the end game.
But Kigalas only, after this blue dragon going to be like 200 XP behind, but it's just been kind of out exploring. So it's worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah, the big thing for Kig, the difference up on the top race is Kig has not seen Cantlin yet, so does not know where the cords are, which are in this general vicinity, and that they are housing a Erdrick stored. And it's similar down at the bottom. Garenham missing for Destiny, while Cantlin's missing for Vriaeliss. No other knowledge differences between those two.
Yep, and then we'll have to see how important coal is and any of the big chest number caves.
Yeah, it seems like everybody down in this Garenham area has, I think between all the runners, we've had to have explored all the way around it, and it does not appear there is much of anything else in this area. So we're going to have to go a different direction to find something.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a cluster of locations somewhere.
Well, here we go. We got Keysville for Kigalas. Makes the just normal muscle memory move to go buy keys. Remembers he has keys and is going to give us our first check in here.
So we've seen Tablet, now we've seen Rim and Garenhem, as we get the Fighter's Ring out of Rim for Kigalas. In terms of overworld chests, I think that as far as the stream has seen, we need Mountain, we need Grave, and then the Stonescape, and that might be it in terms of overworld.
That seems accurate to me as well. Oh no, Stonescape was the key. It was in the basement.
Oh right, yeah. So then it's just the two big caves now, and then the two remaining. Oh no, so it's just coal, big caves and coal.
All right. And it looks like Brian, I believe this is Rim for him as well. So it looks like he's kind of following along the path Kigalas was going, just maybe a minute or two behind. Brian must be low on keys, so he's going to go buy some first.
It's not an entirely linear seed, but it does seem to be a like a seed with only a few branches. So doesn't look, at least at this point, like there's a whole lot of variation in directions you can go.
Yeah, Vriaeliss right behind the top two runners with the direction they're going. Here comes a cave for Kigalas. He's also going to find Rim in a moment. Well, we found our resident jerk. We'll be back once we find some more key items and can bring it. But it looks like Kig is definitely into a new area that we have not seen yet. Destiny also down in this area, so everybody kind of following suit.
And I can't say that the Rainbow Drop Cave is in a convenient location, but at least it's not a situation where the harp trade is underneath Tantagel, where you've got to go all the way back. So it might not be that bad.
Yeah, precisely. And man, it's crazy. All right, so southwest corner for Kigalas. So now we have a general bead on where we're at on this overworld. And we do have a lot of map over here, a lot of empty map. It does continue up that east coast. He does see that. Those one tile gaps can sometimes be a brutal miss if you don't see them.
Looks like Vriaeliss going to go pick up some more keys, make sure that it doesn't run short as he continues the kind of windy path exploration.
Oh man, you can feel the pressure. You can feel the pressure. Kigalas checking his stats. He finds Cole way going up the east coast or west coast. So we'll see if he can get an item here.
We got an item. It does qualify as an item.
Yeah. Well, it's something all right. It's something all right, but not worth the exploration for it unless we end up with a Golem, Spike, and Sharlock or something. But here we go.
Yeah, the Golem, Spike, and Sharlock is the flute's redeeming quality most of the time. There are other occasions, but that is the most often when you are not unhappy to have the flute in your inventory. And the reason that we don't want the flute is because you can't drop it or get rid of it, and you can use fairy waters effectively against the Dragon Lord to offset lower attack power sometimes, and having fewer inventory slots can be frustrating.
Yeah, buddy. So north of Cole, nothing. So again, Brian Williams just following right behind Kigalas on this exploration is also opting to go up that west pass. So he will also come across this flute in a moment. That bridge actually led to nothing. So we're going to have to go back south a little bit to go east and see other locations at this point from Kigalas's and Brian Williams' perspectives.
And pretty much everybody is following the same path as the bottom racers are, very close to one another right now. Not in exactly the same location, but in the same neighborhood. They could probably yell at each other and hear one another.
Yeah, I think Vriaeliss just walked over top of Destiny's. There's the southwest corner. That was the Rainbow Drop Cave for both of them. Brian sees Cole on screen. So yeah, everybody's progressing the exact same direction here. All four of our runners, with just Kigalas being slightly ahead of the four, reversing course at this point.
Yeah, Yep, and like you said, there's still the difference between Garenham versus Cantlin. For both, I guess Brian's been to Garenham now, but at least the bottom race, there's still that difference, and Kigalas has not been to Cantlin yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where Cantlin was. It wasn't too far away, all things considered, with multiple runners finding it. But yeah, it just has not gone the right direction to see what those chords are. Is finding a lot of dead ends here at this point.
This is just one of those maps, you know. There's a number of flavors that the randomizer can roll maps in, and this is one distinct flavor that I think anyone that's played this game is familiar with.
I'm wondering if going through Swamp and exploring from there, we did see Brian outside to the end of Swamp, but then immediately walk back through to get to Garenham again to do a top off. So, oh, here we go. Oh no, never mind. That's back to Rim. Back to Rim. Kig just probably going to top off and continue his exploration. We got to go north from this junction where everybody turns south.
Yeah, and there's always the interesting choice when you find Swamp Cave relatively early, and you got a kind of linear seed like this, where if you want to, do you want to go through Swamp and potentially miss the important things, or do you want to not go through Swamp and potentially miss the important things?
Yeah, it's a personal decision at that point. I know a lot of people like to prefer the non-swamp side first before going through and doing the swamp side, but every once in a while it pays off. We see Destiny in here to find out the wonderful news of the flute. We see the Wraith Knight evidently has DL2 on Brian's side there, and Kig is still pressing out this exploration, trying to get back across to the southeast corner that start heading north.
And again, this is one of those seeds where grinding is always important, but this one is very much about finding the things that you need. It seems like being successful in locating all of the required locations and items is the most important thing in the seed. Oh man, Kigalas gets sent home.
Yeah, he gambled that he was going to kill it on that swing. Meanwhile, we got the next level 0285 for Brian, so HP slowly coming along.
Yeah, and it with the slowing down of the stats, I mean, they're still relatively close to being able to go, but the levels get a little bit wider as far in terms of XP requirements, so it might not be as much of a pants on fire situation as it might have been feared.
Well, this is pretty exciting overall. The top race, very tight on experience, only a couple hundred points separating them. So very similar on the bottom race, only a few hundred experience points separating them. Some difference in knowledge between the races and the runners in each of the races, but I mean, at this point, it's who can complete up all of this overworld exploration and as needed get into that X night grind is going to be crucial here.
Yeah, in the top race, Brian has the advantage of having been to Cantlin and done the coordinates count for the sword, which unless the strength goes crazy, is going to be required, whereas Kigalas still has that to do, and Brian did that a little bit of an extra grind, so also has that XP advantage as well.
Yeah, and 141 steps to count out is not trivial, depending on how you go about doing it. You can definitely do the Brian Williams method, count the east-west chord only. You could also do a north-south and just assume that it's going to be super close to the coast and come back in. You got multiple options there to not have to count all of the steps out.
Meanwhile, in the bottom race, they're a little bit more even, but I would say that Destiny, with a slight XP advantage, has the chords knowledge, I believe, but just hasn't counted them out yet, as far as I know.
That is correct, and he might not be a fan of how far away they are, and wants to pick up the princess, where he has not gone into Garenham yet. So doesn't know where that's at. We have a cave here for Vriaeliss, and that is the grave, so a new location.
And a pretty decent chance of having important items in here because there's grave, there's mountain, and then there's we saw coal, right? So it's just grave and mountain at this point that have potential overworld items.
That's correct. In the very first chest, we get a harp. We have an empty and some gold.
I'm gonna see if he's gonna do a dive here. Suspect he probably will.
Yeah, with how far away this was and still having decent resources, I think that's a very smart play. We're looking for, in his perspective, we're looking for multiple things. We still need the stones, the sword, the armor. A death necklace exists in his world as well, so he's got lots of options. And with this being as far away as it was, it makes total sense to just get it out of the way.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we know. I don't think he has as much knowledge. He doesn't know about Cantlin, but you know, for us, like knowing that all of the surge spots are accounted for, very important to go down here.
Yeah, Kigalas going through another area that was just a complete devoid, dead end, nothing there. Somehow hasn't taken the turn, and I'll be honest, trying to follow 4 racers, it's hard to get a beat on the map layout, but hasn't taken the turn that the other 2 did to find Cantlin, which wasn't terribly far from start. Chest 4 in Garenham, or Grave, is a torch.
Brian into also Grave, so I'm gonna pick up that harp and then likely make a dive here a little bit behind Vriaeliss.
Well, we got the big sea here for Destiny and a coastal town here that's surrounded by water for the most on 3 sides. Let's see which town is this? It's gonna be
Breckenary. Yep. I think it had to be right.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think we've already seen everything else.
Nice to have a town, though, near Sharlock, and especially a town that sells not only herbs, but also fairy water. So this is where Breckenary actually shines, is being a refill near Sharlock. Like, that is its one job.
No, I mean, that's a very fair statement, and on both counts especially. So we'll see if it becomes relevant outside of the 6 gold in for the fairy waters. But looks like Destiny's going to at least take advantage and sell a bunch of stuff and just free up some space.
So it's really depending on, well, I guess Vriaeliss is out and we've got no additional items, so likely just the harp from Grave. So it really seems like finding Mountain at this point, and for those who haven't found Cantlin, finding Cantlin.
Yeah, and at some point, Kigalas also got into his Grave, actually past B-Dub 42 there, so he's slightly ahead on the dive here. Does got his harp, but going to get evidently the nothing out of the last 2 chests.
And I know we've seen the jerk, the rainbow drop trade, but have we seen the staff, the harp to staff trade?
I don't believe so. I think I would have made a mental note of that if we had, so I don't believe we've seen staff yet. But we may have just found it on Destiny's side, north of Breck.
Man, that is not a convenient location.
Yeah, it's either mountain or staff cave, and it's mountain.
Ooh, that's great news for Destiny. That's way better.
Yeah, with how much overworld there is, if he gets out here and this is where the staff cave is, he's going to have to rewalk all of this to get that exchange before rewalking all the way back down to the rainbow drop. So, in what seems to be a decently fast seed, you don't want to have to expend extra time on walking.
Yeah, definitely not. Especially because every other racer, I mean, obviously he only cares about Vriaeliss, but Vriaeliss already has the silver harp, and so we'll be able to trade in whenever he finds the harp trade.
Well, we got a curse belt up top.
Nice to get Axe Knights when you're out and about exploring. Like, the XP hasn't been terrible, but at this point, you know, sticking on the Axe Knight seems like it was totally fine. It was we're a little bit of a worry early, but yeah, they're in a situation where the XP was warranted.
On the other side here, Kigalas opting to take a death warp out of the grave here. Maybe thinking about setting up that gold grind and getting a silver shield.
Yeah, not a bad idea. You know, has seen the magic armor, silver shield in Garenham. Maybe he also doesn't have the Erdrick sword. Maybe thinking about a weapon just in case needs to swing some stuff down.
That's possible. Brian finds out the gold in chest 5 and has outsided. He is on. Well, there's Sharlock from the top, so he's in that same area of where Breckenary is across the water here, and then mountain to the north.
Yeah, and so Destiny is pretty close to this as well. So there's a decent chance that Destiny is going to, from the other side, walk and find Grave and be able to get those checks done. And then, yeah, well, was it Garenham that Destiny hasn't seen?
Yeah, I believe Destiny hadn't seen Garenham yet. We know Vriaeliss and Kigalas haven't seen Cantlin yet. And we'll see we'll see how long it takes Kig to get back to this location where we know Breck and the Mountain Cave are located in, and we still need to find a Staff of Rain cave for all the runners to exchange the harps.
I'm not positive, but there might be a decent chance of the other side of Swamp being the location where the staff trade-in is.
Yeah, from where this Mountain Cave entrance was, there was like a little one-tile path still going west. Meanwhile, Brian is going to go top off in Brecken area real fast. We got Money Printer going crazy on Kigalas' side, and oh, look at that cave! Look at that cave to the west!
So this would be a real huge bummer for Destiny if the Grave was not very close, and he's not guaranteed, but I think he has a pretty reasonable chance of walking into the Grave and then being able to immediately trade in the harp.
Yeah, if he follows the natural flow of where he should go, which is up and around here, that's where everybody else came from the Grave to get to this direction. So Kigalas is going to have to get back out to this location for sure, but still does need to come across wherever Cantlin is, and then we'll go from there. So Brian with a little bit of an advantage up top for sure. Meanwhile, on the bottom, this one's really tight because of the two different mislocations for those two, and having all otherwise same knowledge.
Yeah, and for Destiny, if he's gonna wait for the princess to get the coordinates, I believe the coordinates were nearby Garenham, so he'll need to find Garenham to get to the Swamp Cave for the princess, and then have to go back, potentially. So that could be a little bit of a time expenditure.
Well, we'll see if Destiny, he's taking the lower path around here, so we'll see if he lucks across Garen's Grave. Meanwhile, Brian gonna be our first runner to get his Staff of Rain.
Vriaeliss in floor 2 of the Mountain Cave, so should be able to get that cleared shortly. So is it? We've kind of glossed over it, but is it guaranteed that armor is in Sharlock? I think it is.
Yeah, it has to be. Armor has to be in Sharlock. We've definitely located everything else.
So this magic armor pickup for Kigalas is going to be relevant for the, hurt more resistance and the extra, 1 in 4 step HP gain. Both of those are relevant on a potential Sharlock dive without armor.
All right, there's going to be the Grave for Destiny. He came up and around, and he has located it. So he'll have that harp. He knows where to go exchange that. So looking pretty good from his perspective. Hopefully he's got a good beat on the one location of the map he hasn't headed, which is where Garenham and our inevitable chords are located as well.
Yeah, I think that Destiny's going to have all of the knowledge except the 3 chests in Garenham after this. And Garenham's going to lead to the Swamp Cave for the princess, so in pretty decent shape.
Yeah, once Brian clears this out and heads west, he already headed west, so once Brian clears this out, he's going to have full knowledge. We'll see if he wants to try and take a death warp out of here knowing that the armor is in. He's got full knowledge that armor is in Sharlock, so he may want to try and pick up some additional gear. Though he already has a half plate and a large shield, he may opt to skip that. He's 2 experience away from level 15.
Yeah, the magic armor, might be more tempting than this. I mean, you get both, but he might do the grind for the armor, but maybe not.
I think he wants to, otherwise he would have outsided from here, and he is furiously heading back to try and find something to kill him, and well, no, he's just going to get the level first. That's not a bad idea either. We'll see what level 15 brings.
But yeah, I agree with you. He definitely would have outsided. So it seems like magic armor is on Brian's mind, and no reason not to get a silver shield at the same time.
Well, we got a moderate strength gain, but 17 HP is humongous now. So we are definitely. I didn't get to see the full stats. We are definitely in that knocking on go time's door. But here is our death ward.
Kigalas into Cantlin here now. This is the town that he needed to find.
All right, he'll get those coordinates and realize they're a little far away. We'll see how he wants to play it out. Meanwhile, Brian, those stats are super, super close, but I think we definitely want another level.
Yeah, and with the Axe Knight grind, if that's what he chooses to do, shouldn't take very long at all. And that's going to Garenham is going to get you the items that he wants to purchase anyway. So it just is kind of like, okay, I'll grind for a silver shield and get that as well. Oh, I'll do some Axe Knight grinding. Okay.
No, and that's a great point. Is it's taking him? He's not going very far out of the way. He's right into the grind. It was natural, like I was talking about earlier. If you get into it naturally, like he did, I think you do it. Plus, it's going to the exact same location he wants to do a grind at anyway.
So yeah, definitely looking like a strong position for Brian right now, with important knowledge and a good plan for success here. And just gonna have to see if Kigalas can get the sword located and get a move on in that regard.
Yeah, I think the biggest hit to Kigalas so far in this race, because it's been a really close, fast-paced race on the top half of the stream, is the fact that he opted to grind out of Grave and ultimately didn't see those last three locations just past his area there, and will have to go back there unneeded, where the other runners will only go there twice, once when they find it and once to go win the game at Sharlock.
Yeah, definitely. And Destiny getting down to the bottom of Grave here, going to find there's nothing, and likely will be able to head back to that harp trade and get that traded in.
Yeah, so from Destiny's perspective, you don't want to die here because you need to go get that staff. So I don't foresee Destiny doing a grind because he would have to go manually reset it up, wasting more time.
Yeah, he'd have to go back into Mountain Cave, and he might. If you know for sure that armor's in Sharlock, I think it would probably still be worth it to get the magic armor, but I don't know that he knows that, so he might not be inclined.
Yeah, precisely. I'm fairly positive he still has Garenham to find. Meanwhile, we got Brian with his cash heading out. We've got Kigalas trying to figure out where he needs to go from here after having gotten his stuff. He should repel.
Destiny got a little bit of a XP cushion here. So Vriaeliss is continuing to explore the map.
Brian heads into Cantlin. I guess maybe he's going to go try and do the rainbow drop exchange before heading into a grind potentially. But Kigalas in the correct area to find the rest of his locations, just needs to go a little bit further west here. It's going to funnel him right to them. If he would take one further step to the west.
So 90 defense for Brian means that at least here he could get more. Green Dragon on down, if you have Fairy Water or Repel active, will not be appearing in Sharlock.
Yeah, depending on how the enemy pool decides to play out, it can make for a rather quick Sharlock dive once you have some good defense going. And Brian, yeah, he just got to go a little bit north after he goes through this past this little watery area, and will have his rainbow. There it is.
I think the opportunity was there to go straight to Garenham, get the same equipment and grind, and then this is on the way to Sharlock, right? And so you could just come and do this and then heal in Breckenary on your way. I think that is probably what I think would probably be the optimal routing, but I mean, this is still fine.
Okay, let's see how this plays out. We got Destiny looking for Garanham, which we know he's not quite close to right now. We've got Kigalas into Mountain Cave right now, does need to come out and go west to pick up his staff. He'll have his stones and death necklace in a moment. Vriaeliss, I guess, after doing the Mountain Cave, did not head west because I don't see that he has the Staff of Rain mark, but I could have missed that before runners. And then Destiny, yeah, I mean, and then Brian just needs to grind. So we're quickly approaching this end game. We'll have to figure out where our armor is, how dangerous is Sharlock, and is 16 going to be go?
I wonder if Brian's gonna do a dive and grind or something here.
Yeah, he might be thinking that. One level away, you can come up here, get the level. You have a top-off town right next door, so it's not necessarily a terrible thought, and just makes your dive for a win a little freer if you already have that armor. So I don't hate this play at all. I can see people making either decision and would be fully fine with either one.
Yeah, when you already have a bunch of MP, you know, and you're looking for other things, that's definitely the right choice. That's the right time to do the dive and grind when you have good defense and lots of MP. When it's not MP that you're worried about, that's the time.
Yeah, and I mean, he could be thinking Fairy Water strats as well. It would definitely close the gap at 15. It would still be very tight, and it's, I don't think, doable on a single dive, knowing you're going to be giving up some MP on the dive for sure.
Yeah, like Aaron's saying in chat, the difference here is that there's no heal more, and so that's where you can get, like, if you get into a sticky spot in this one, you're just gonna die.
Oh, yeah, and it's already been mentioned in chat about the no heal more. I keep forgetting about that, but yeah, let's see what happens. We'll see what happens here. We'll see what kind of Sharlock we have. If he's able to grind through on the way down, we have, like you said, the 4 enemies that are damage broken at this point, so makes that kind of grinding pretty fun.
Yeah, I guess this makes perfect sense if you're going to go do a dive for the armor and try to get the level on the way. You did get the magic armor for presumably the Sharlock dive, so I think it still could be pretty defensible to get 16 and then just try to do it in one dive, but it's nice to dive with the armor.
Well, that was an interesting play here. He runs inside, gets 1 blue dragon, and then immediately returns. Yeah, I was thinking about the miss menu option as well, but I wasn't even sure what he would be menuing to miss menu.
Maybe he like thought he had heal more, and he tried to hit heal more, but then he repel. Maybe he was trying to repel, so he needed to hit up twice. And why would he repel though? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Or like Chad is postulating, maybe he thought he had heal more and was, but I mean, he wouldn't have done the double heal going in, so I think he knew he didn't have heal more. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Either way, he's gone to an armor knight over the axe knight just because it's close, is my assumption here, and the assumption that he probably thinks 16 will be go regardless. We'll see how he plays it out. Meanwhile, Kigalas going to go get his rainbow right now after having picked up the staff. A little behind on experience, so we'll see what he opts to do as far as getting the rest of the experience and how he wants to play the armor in Sharlock. We have Vriaeliss finally coming back up here past Mountain, is going to be picking up his staff in a moment, and I don't know that Destiny has still either gotten the cords and or found Garanham.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, you do the armored knight because it's close now, but I still think that after the gold grind, initially taking it to Garanham, buying the items, and doing the axe knight, I feel like that was the move.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, and I think that's where my mindset would be as well. It's always hard to figure out what you would do when you're not actually doing the race, but we'll see what happens here because we have near full knowledge at this point for all runners. We have Destiny a little behind on just knowing where the sword is located because of the lack of lack of counting out and or wanting the princess, and then we have the lack of Garenham knowledge, but otherwise everybody else is in a grind and go type situation.
Is there, even if you get 0 stats at level 16, is getting heal more enough, or do you think that you would want a little bit extra too?
I hate the current stats. Is it doable with some hurt wars? Yes. Does it feel good? Not at all. Not at all. So I think I would continue to grind, but I would hate every second of it.
Yeah, I think Brian probably hoping for some decent boosts to strength or HP or both for this to feel pretty good instead of just heal more.
I'm trying to figure out what is Kigalas looking for. Where is he at? Because he keeps walking around and reversing course. I'm not sure where he's at or what he's looking for at this point. He does still have to do the chords, but I thought he had found Caitlin and got the chords already.
Yeah, maybe he can't remember where Garenham is to get the princess. Maybe he doesn't want to count it out. That's all I can think.
Yeah, it's fair. I don't know. I have no clue where Garenham is, but we've walked to it several times from many runners' perspectives, although Destiny still seems to have not walked there once yet, so it must be down a little weird path. This is a very, very strange map for sure.
Vriaeliss into Caitlin. I'm not sure if this is the first time or not, but this might be the thing that Vriaeliss needed to find was the chords information.
All right, Brian opting to just go ahead and stick with this Armor Knight. Back in here just shy of level 16. We're going to find out if 16 is usable or not here in a moment. There's Garenham for Kigalas. I have to assume he's going to go ahead and grind while he's in here, but then use the last little bit of his MP to get the princess back is my assumption.
Yeah, that makes sense, because he would know it's either the sword or the armor, and definitely needing to get it, so...
So yeah, that is Vriaeliss just now getting the chords. So our top race, definitely a decent lead for Brian, as level 16 comes with 1 power, 2 agility, 16 hit points, no magic, and there's our heal more. 128 with some fairy waters. Is that what he's going to go with? He takes a look again, 13 heal mores, and he's going to walk out.
I don't think you have a strong doubles odds, but you have a marginal doubles odds for the fight, I would say.
Yeah, and this is definitely favoring Brian. He's definitely a favorite as he can get down with full resources. 13 heal mores, doing 7 to 14, use some fairy waters to supplement if he wants. Depends if he wants to use the fairy water for repelling purposes or not. There's Destiny into Garenham, finally gets the news of Armor in Sharlock officially now that he doesn't know it's Armor in Sharlock. He knows one of them's in Sharlock and one of them's on the chords. So he's going to get that together here in a moment.
Yep, gonna get the Axe Knight knowledge. We'll see if he's gonna stick on the spike until level 16, get heal more, and then set out for the rest.
Yeah, the bottom race is intriguing because Vriaeliss definitely in a little bit of an XP gap in comparison to Destiny. Both are in Garenham, going to be down in the swamp. So looks like with where they're at, both having to do the sword and the chords, it is most likely about a 3 to 5 minute advantage for Destiny right now as far as that race goes. We know Brian in a commanding lead right now, though that Armor Knight does get Kigalas to level 15. We'll see how he wants to play from here.
And I'm trying to think through the Sharlock enemies on the seed. I don't know if we've seen, I don't remember any notable abilities or spells on anything. I feel like we've seen most of, I don't know if we've seen Red Dragon, but I feel like we've seen most everybody, and nothing remarkable for Sharlock pops out to me.
Now, as Beta points out, definitely the DL2 Stoneman. Stoneman did have DL2. We'll see how that plays out, if they are there or not.
So there is danger. Okay, good to know.
Brian clearing out the entire inventory, going to go fairy water all the way to the top here in a moment. and be into Sherlock with a real chance. Remember, we still have to pick up armor. That is one big key piece here still. We still have to get armor. And even walking from Breckenary back over to Sherlock, you walk through a ton of swamp. So you're going to lose some HP just getting in there, let alone through all the tiles getting behind the throne.
Yeah, this isn't a guaranteed fight by any means, even if you make it with full resources, and you're not going to make it with full resources, so... I wonder if Brian had been on the Axe Knight spike, if he would have been more willing to try. I mean, you can go on this level. It's a hard choice for sure. It's real hard to make the choice when you got to dive for armor. But with Breckenary right there, I guess worst case scenario, you bail and heal and come back, and it's not, you know, that bad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, you can. I think it's doable with 12 heal mores because we're probably assuredly going to be giving one up here. I guess you could try and supplement with our herbs here and just hope. But seeing Armor Knights up top does not give me confidence, and failing the run from this Axe Knight really feels bad. You don't die here. I think you have to heal more. You just go ahead and write this one off. Go get the armor, come out. You just have to make this armor successful. However, we are at 91 agility. We're going to get mercy ruled to an Axe Knight.
That is the game being the game. So yeah, it looks like Brian likely a full commit to just get the armor at any cost and come back and try again, which is going to be the definite right choice.
Yeah, you have to make the armor work at this point. You can't give up the position and where he's at here. Meanwhile, Kigalas coming back out, going to go top off. About 1,000 experience, just over away from level 16. Does still have to do the chords to get the sword, as do the two bottom runners. In that race, we have Destiny with a commanding experience point lead. Does have him a princess in his arms, is going to kill one more Axe Knight and get this level 16. So Destiny looking to be in a pretty good position in their perspective heads up race versus Vriaeliss there. So we'll see how this finally plays out down there. But again, Sherlock can be Sherlock.
Yeah, and nothing is for sure in this race. Like you said, we've got Stone Men with DL2 and no armor, so that's potentially 72 damage just right there for nothing. And the stats at level 16 are not a guarantee to win, so being behind is not a death sentence in this one. Now,
an interesting situation here is Destiny doesn't have enough MP for return. Comes out the north side of swamp, has to go back through. Checked, he does not have any wings. Is going to herb up the heal. Got ambushed and run blocked by a golem, and doesn't want to lose position here.
Yeah, normally you can death warp, but this is not a situation where you are interested in a death warp because you lose the princess. Vriaeliss also 0 MP, trying to make it out alive with the princess.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Meanwhile, Brian is about to see the light of the bottom floor. He's going to check our 6 checks here. Where is our armor? Where's our armor?
Oh yeah, if you want to play the pyramid game, get your guesses in chat. Which chest?
Well, our 150 chest is a key fund. 100 is the armor. Wow, he got it quick. Armor immediately outsides. He's going to go top off, and Brian going to be in a very good position here as long as we get some good runs and everything to take down Kigalas in the top race. But Kig about to get level 16. The unfortunate thing for him is he is still a dive for armor away, still has to go get the coordinates to get that sword. So, and then again, in the bottom race, we have Destiny and the commanding experience point lead is at that go level, just has to wrap up the rest of the stuff.
Destiny doing a little bit of a slow grind here in Garenham, potentially for magic armor, looks like. I think that that's the case.
That was my guess as well, with the immediate walk out, walk back in, and does get enough gold with that one to go get it in terms of mountain to go buy it. I don't hate that play. It only took a couple extra seconds, and it makes it a little safer. He might be thinking trying to do a single dive as well, not knowing what he's about to face.
Yeah, I mean, magic armor is very valuable in this situation, so heads up play there, really.
Princess about to be turned in. Vriaeliss walking around the overworld with his princess. Brian making his true dive for a win here. Kig looking at the stats after that level, and he is probably going to kill this one to get the princess, and then he'll do the checks and turn her in and all that.
Can confirm that Kigalas has magic armor and silver shield as well.
Okay, this is interesting. Kig does not like level 16, so he has opted to continue a grind. So he's going an extra level to boot. I guess if we get some nasty stuff here and things go south for Brian, there's an opportunity to come back in if 17 is useful, but he's definitely got a little bit of time to still wrap up everything he needs to do.
And Brian working his way through the diamond floor right now in zone 2 of Sharlock. There's 3 zones in Sharlock, each with their own set of 5 potential enemies, although they can be doubled or, potentially tripled or more up, but, usually 4 or 5 different enemies in each zone.
Yeah, and with our ability to we're getting not a good job at not encountering much here. We're in the zone 3, so things going very well for Brian so far. One more dark floor to go, and then we'll be back in light round 2.
And I'm not sure if we've seen anything particularly problematic in the dive so far that we saw earlier.
No, I was going to say there's red things in here, but we do have decent agility, which sometimes allows you to run from these red things. So as we see, second try gets away from the red dragon.
Brian holding on to the 4 excess MP here, saving a heal, not going to cast a repel, but could get rid of that Star Wyvern, but maybe it's not worth it if it's only the Star Wyvern you get rid of.
Yeah, he's got at least 3 enemies down here that are not repelled that we've seen. Meanwhile, we got Destiny getting a sword, going to go pick up his rainbow drop now, so going to be in a very commanding position. Should be starting Sharlock here in about 2 minutes. We got Vriaeliss about to pick up his sword, and there it is. And we got Kigalas just grinding away. He's definitely going to get level 17. We'll see how that plays out.
Destiny going to pick up the rainbow drop.
All right, and a red dragon spike for Brian. 3 shots it. He's going to use his bonus heal, herb up a little, and we will be into a dragon here in about 20 seconds.
And saving the MP for the heal turns out to be pretty nice. And red dragon, not really the enemy you want to see on the spike, but worked out just fine.
Yeah, pretty smooth overall. Got first action, got it in a 3-shot. Does get ambushed by the Dragon Lord because at 91 agility, of course we did.
I feel like it's almost a guarantee to get ambushed by deal 1 and 2 when you're 90 agility or more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's the agility overflow as we've discussed. Mid-60s, low to mid-60s is definitely that primo spot of agility for Sharlock.
It gets the double stop spell, so going to be able to go into the DL2 fight with 95 HP. Potential double opening attack would be great.
All right, there we go. And he's out immediately with Fairy Waters and starting out strong. Getting a double to start. This is big.
Yeah, starting with 13 into 16 for 29 off the beginning. That's great. That's a great start. That's going to push us up to 45. 156. That's going to push us up to 71. That's 86. Those were some fairy water rolls right there.
Absolutely amazing rolls.
Might get a double here. That's going to be 93. Not a double. That's 100. $113. That's 124. That's 135. Fight is going quite well for Brian. 146. That's 155. No, Brian is guaranteed to win. And does. That's going to be enough at 162.
Yeah, amazingly done here by Brian. Get some GGs out in chat for him. Going to take the win over his 1v1 versus Kigalas on the top half and move the 1-0 in his group stage, knocking Kigalas down to 1-2. Meanwhile, on the bottom half here, Destiny, after getting his homework done, did opt to go ahead and grind to level 17, is just shy of that right now. We'll see if he wants to start finishing that last bit of 17 on the walk up towards Sharlock, or if he comes back to grind. Vriaeliss on the other side wrapped up his exploration and has opted to do a desert grind on some golems over here. Maybe not the most optimal strategy, but we'll see. If he decides 16 is enough, which Brian has shown that it is, this still could be a very close race on the bottom here.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd say the desert grind more favorable with like a worse spike, but also with the armor. When you're healing and walking in between the fights, that can also, you know, help you offset things in the desert grind.
No, absolutely agree. Yeah, it is a slightly questionable decision, especially since he's fluting because he doesn't have to heal more, but getting some good flute luck from what I've been watching here. So we are 2 more golems away from a level 2 and change.
Yep, and we'll, like you said, see if Destiny's going to be able to get level 17 on the walk towards Sharlock, and then if he's going to be able to do it in one dive or not, depending on the RNG and the stats for level 17.
Yeah, and the other big difference on the bottom is the difference in gear, since Destiny never did do the gold grind, so we do have a little bit more defense going. I thought Vriaeliss did do a gold grind, but I'm not 100% now that I see what he had there. I thought he was trying to set one up before, but maybe he didn't ultimately do it.
Well, if we're fortunate, we'll get a stats check at level 16 and be able to suss out the secret.
Yeah, if he's still rocking just that small shield, that's less than ideal. Destiny just trying to find an enemy has repelled the world away on his way up here. There we go. We got a green dragon showing up.
Yeah, and only at 81 defense, you'd think you'd find something to, you know, a werewolf, a star wyvern, a green dragon, an axe knight, an armor, like somebody.
Meanwhile, on the top, Kigalas has decided to throw in the towel, so get some GGs out for him. The map was not the nicest thing in the world, and Brian just going a little bit of right order and a good bit of grinding at perfect times really set him up for success, so GGs to Kig.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, this one had all the hallmarks of a potential very early go level, and it just didn't necessarily work out that way. And welcome in, Brian. How are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Hey, yeah, thanks for doing comms today. Thinking it went pretty well.
Yeah, getting the win always ultimately feels like it went pretty well, even if it didn't. But from our perspective, things went real well on your half. You know, the good grinds, good decisions on when to move about, the whole thing. The one question I truly did have for you was, were you going to try and make that level 16 a single dive and then it ultimately died right away, or was it always going to be 2 dives?
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, do I really want to fight blue dragons in here? No, I don't. Not without heal more. So I had to turn around to go back and fight the armored knights just to get heal more for that whole mess.
Yeah, it was interesting. You walk in there's a blue dragon, and then it's a fight, and you're like, all right, and I'm gone.
Yeah, I think that was the mistake for sure. But the early start, finding the Mad Wyvern zone and not having to fight what ended up being DL2 breath Wraith Knights and Star Wyverns with no healing, that was like the boost I needed, and I think that was a little out of the way. So I felt pretty good about stumbling into that. And I think from there on, I played it pretty safe, got levels, and stayed alive.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw as well. And meanwhile, we did get joined by Kigalas. GG's, Kig. How are you feeling about this one?
Well, it wasn't as bad as last night.
I mean, there you go. That's not an unfair statement for sure. I think the difference, the story of the seed was just Brian did find a good zone early, just northeast of start, where it had Magic Wyverns. There was golems in there, obviously we were running from those, but getting a ton of Magic Wyverns. The other piece was Brian was able to just get through the exploration a little bit quicker. And made level 16 work in 2 dives, gets armor, comes out, tops off, and goes in.
Yeah, I had a feeling I did one level too high, because looking at, I don't know based off of strength what is enough necessarily. I go just, I don't know what strength plus sword, is, so whatever. Not fighting Catelyn probably screwed me pretty good too.
Yeah, you were definitely a lot later to Catelyn. That was the big piece for you. I think there was two pieces. The Catelyn piece where you were there a lot later, and then when you opted to go ahead and gold grind out a grave, which necessarily wasn't a bad idea to get the gear, but then you had to re-walk all the way back up there to find where the Brecconary Mountain and Staff Caves were, to get that whole piece, where Brian got all of that first and then death warped out from there and had it all wrapped up.
And then I did that little cheeky check of past Mountain Cave to find the harp trade. So when I did death warp out of Mountain, I didn't lose any territory I had to come back to. So that was there wasn't much map left, but I was really happy that it worked to go a few steps past Mountain like that.
Yeah, I almost actually cast return when I found Brecconary. Then I'm like, wait, there's a cave here, and then kept going after doing Mountain. So I found that and then did my homework, and then went for the grind and went too far. And then it's like, well, I have 1 key, and I know I need to use that to get the princess, and then I'd have to go get more keys to get whatever crap was waiting for me in Charlock that I needed. So it was a thing. So whatever.
And let's bring up the bottom race here real fast, because we do have both of them in Charlock, neither with their armor yet. However, Destiny did go to level 17, got that little bit of an extra MP bump, and is in a decent position to be able to single dive this. Still has 13 heal mores, just needs to get up here to get the armor, which we know is in the $100 chest. So Destiny almost assuredly in a position to be able to single dive this, where Vriaeliss absolutely an entire Charlock behind would also have to outside and redo the Charlock. So Destiny's still in a commanding lead at this point.
Yeah, getting the extra HP and up to 132 attack power means that unless something hazardous happens here, I think Destiny is a very, very strong favorite to win this. I did have a question for you, Brian. When you did the gold grind and decided to go to Catelyn, I was thinking you were going to go to Garenham, get the magic armor silver there, and then grind Axe Knights, and that wasn't what happened. Was it because of the thought of the dive and grind that you didn't make that choice?
Yeah, that was the issue. I was kind of thinking about going straight to Charlock or Brecconary, and I thought I would get more experience on the way. but I guess there was just, on that path there was nothing. So I thought I'd be less than 2,000 experience behind when I got there, and so the whole thing kind of fell apart. Especially when you see that blue dragon, and you're like, no, this is a bad idea. I actually didn't write down what was in Garenham. I only wrote down Magic Armor, Silver Shield for Cantland, because once I saw those, I figured that's the place I'd go for them. So I actually didn't remember Garenham had both. I just remembered the Magic Armor, but I actually wanted Silver Shield too. So for 2 trips through Cantland, maybe with Repel. But yeah, just didn't even write it down for Garenham. I was done.
We got Destiny into the spike with the red dragon, looking to be in decent position. Is down to the 12 heal mores, as ran into a little bit of issues as he's progressed around this bottom floor with the enemies, but gets a useless crit against the red to finish it off. We'll see if the 12 heal mores and the extra at 17 is enough. He's got 132 attack power, so he's in a pretty decent position at this point. But for you two, while we're getting to this Dragon Lord fight, any final thoughts from your sides on this race or anything else?
I'm just happy to finally have a race where I actually get triple-digit HP.
Yeah, HP is just a number here lately for some reason.
It wasn't looking good for a while. I was like, which is going to come first, heal more or enough HP to go anywhere? I mean, I don't know how much you had to slow down and use heal everywhere, but it just felt like tiringly heal. I was staying above 72 HP because I just didn't want to get any surprises, and it worked, I guess, because the Wraith Knight revealed it all the way up by Cole, and I was glad I was at 73. But I feel like I used heal like 1,000 times. 76, but 1,000, yeah.
Yeah, I never saw DL2 breath on anything, so I only saw a handful of the Wraith Knights, but even once I got silver and magic armor, I didn't see many enemies, so.
Yep, Stonemen too, but luckily they weren't in Sharlock to really throw off that armor dive, so yeah, those are the only 2 I saw.
Well, this Dragon Lord fight should be kind of fun. We got ambushed right out of the gate. We're at 48 right now, 56. He's low rolling. Does get a double here though, so that's going to tremendously help.
Oh, is this another double coming in?
Yeah, there we go. That's what he needed to get out of the funk he's at. He's up to 94 now. Yeah, should be in a good position here. I believe he's at 127 right now. Got three attacks minimum left, or 4 attacks minimum right now. Yeah, 142. We're free and clear at this point. Just gotta heal when you need to heal and swing when you need to swing. So, wrap that. He's got another chance for a double here if it's needed, and we definitely need it. And then we get another double, and that 15 is gonna clear the range. Get some GGs out in chat for Destiny of a Dragon Warrior. Going to be taking the W in his heads up versus Vriaeliss on the bottom and move to 1-0 out of the Cantland group.
Yeah, fantastic to get off to a good start. Gonna put Vriaeliss to 1-1, and we'll have to see. Plenty of races to go. This is the peak season of DWR hype. Like, we are in the thick of it. This is where it's at.
Yeah, I think there's 8 or 9 races today alone, which is absolutely absurd. But yeah, it's a great time. You know, we get 2 of them here. Got this quad action. It's always fun to watch these kind of races go down.
Oh, I'm getting out of here. GG, Brian.
Yeah, GG Kigalas. And I'll jump out too. Let the next people talk about their race. But I guess I'm back in a couple hours. So if you're still here to watch, we'll do this again. Thanks, everyone.
GG,
Yeah,
we'll be
GG
here.
to you both. And yeah, as Brian mentioned, our next race of the day is at 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on DW Randomizer again. That'll be Brian Williams 42 again taking on Secret Agent Man. Mandan, Brian Williams 42. We'll see what happens with that. But meanwhile, we'll see if we can get some Destiny action in here. And Vriaeliss does clean up and get his armor as well.
Welcome in, Destiny.
Evidently, I didn't see Destiny. Good GG's.
Thank you. GG's Brian and GG's Kigalas.
Yeah. So, how you feeling? What are you thinking about, man? What are your top of the head thoughts right at the end of this?
Well, for whoever says that one-on-one races are not the same as community races or that they're all the same, false. Man, the adrenaline is pumping in these one-on-one races, especially getting towards the end and making the final decisions and watching the race room, thinking about every little inefficiency along the way and how the opponent could have capitalized and just waiting for them to be done at any moment. I feel like my routing wasn't great. Took a couple of bad deaths and bad RNG in the very, very beginning, messing around with Hawksness. Man, am I glad that I walked all the way around the map, all the way up, and found coal early to be rewarded with the fairy flute. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was amazing. I was like, oh, we got coal and we got the flute, and not exactly what you were hoping to get.
I'm really excited to watch this back. I'm glad that this was on a quadcast with 4 players, because the way that this map shook out, I'm assuming that the routing between the 4 of us was pretty different.
Oh, absolutely. It was night and day, I think, on all 4 of you. You were by far the last person to be able to find Garanham. But where Brian routed it almost perfectly, Kig routed but missed Cantlin. Vriaeliss also missed Cantlin for quite a while. So it was very interesting seeing it go down.
That is interesting, especially with Garanham and Cantlin nearly east and west of one another. I guess if you hugged the west side going down, you found Garanham, and if you hugged the east side going down, you found Cantlin. Yeah, I did not feel good about finding Garanham late, of course, and then seeing that the Axe Knight was the spike in Swamp. I was like, oh, this would have been fantastic to sit on with Hurtmore for a level or 2. So then I noticed that I was near magic armor money, and I was like, I'm going to take a second, dip in, and get the couple of gold chests to get magic armor. Kind of gambling that the sword was going to be on coordinates and Erdrick's armor was going to be in Sharlock. And I was like, if that's the case, a single dive to get armor and finish the game is much more likely with magic armor. And seems like that paid off, even though Sharlock for the most part was harmless, besides seeing some reds in the bottom, but no wombo combo or anything wild like that to my knowledge.
Yeah, the only potential would have been a Stoneman. They had DL2, but we did not see Stoneman show up in Sharlock to what I've seen, at least from the runners diving. So you were pretty free and clear, I think.
I just want to point out that Vriaeliss has 99 defense right now, and it fills my heart with joy.
Yeah, using the strength agility build will definitely do that for sure, and that is amazing. Yeah, high defense like that is just a beautiful thing.
Well, off to a 1-0 start here, Destiny. How far in your scheduling are you? You got any more races planned for the near future?
I do. So I have another race this evening, actually, at, I believe, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm racing Scarlet Shadow, who is the top seed in our group. And Scarlet's a friend of mine, but is a much stronger competitor than I objectively. We've raced in a few tournaments and winter leagues in the past. I know we've done a one-on-one at some point in summer tournament, either last year or year before, and he crushed me. So So I'm expecting to come out of today at 1-1, and then next week Tuesday I face off against Pav, who was in the semifinals of last year's tournament. So I'm glad to get a 1-0 start here today, get a win, because the next two races are quite intimidating, and then the last two will be scheduled sometime after that. But all of these groups are super competitive and super tough. We've seen a couple of upsets already in the summer tournament, and man, it's a great time of year.
Yeah, it's interesting you brought up that's your second race. I was looking through, and I think I saw someone mention it in chat early on. Several of you doing two races today. That'll when you take on Scarlet Shadow tonight, that'll be both of your second races of the day. Luckily for you, you have several hours between now and then to forget about this one. It looks like Scarlet Shadow, depending on how long that first race goes, will be moving in relatively soon after that one. Only a 3-hour gap between start times.
Yeah, and I believe Scarlet Shadow is facing Vriaeliss today. Is that the opponent as well? So between the three of us, Vriaeliss, Scarlet Shadow, and I, we're kind of doing a round robin today on this Saturday. Kind of weird how that worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he is. You got your triangles races getting out of the way there between the three of you. Brian will be doing a second race here in another couple hours, and a few other races running around in there as well. So should be pretty exciting. Like I said, we like Destiny, or like Hoodie said early, tons and tons of races already happening and will continue to happen. We usually do tend to peter out into that final week, and then everybody rushing to get the rest of them in over the final week, which runs up until August 15th, I believe.
Vriaeliss is proclaimed a fool by the Dragon Lord and will enter the fight with an extraordinarily high chance to win. .98 agility is enough to not get ambushed by the Dragon Lord, starting with 11. We're up to 26. Oh, and we swung and did not survive.
Yeah, that might have been a miss menu or something. We'll see if he opts to go try this one more time.
Appears to be making the indications of looking to continue.
It's not often we see 99 defense. Did someone look up and see what the Dragon Lord's melee range is on Vriaeliss at 99 defense? It's got to be like 45 or 46 maximum, right?
Yeah, it's 45. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I love high agility, high defense options. It doesn't happen very often anymore, but it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, repelling not only Green Dragon, but you're repelling the Axe Knight now, and also the Blue Dragon.
Well, a quick top off of herbs and MP here in a moment for Vriaeliss, and we'll be back into Sharlock again. Definitely, again, going to be a huge favorite. Sometimes a miss menu happens. It is what it is.
Gonna sell the Death Necklace and become even more laden with fairy water. Gonna splash and douse the Dragon Lord aggressively even more.
I wonder if the damage from the fairy water depends on how much of the water gets into like his eyes or into his throat, since he breathes fire. You have to get those shots straight and true for him to hit all the way up to 16.
I'll buy it. I will buy that for sure.
I think that's why there's the range of 9 to 16, right? Like a 16 is directly square in the eyes, and then a 9 is kind of a glancing shot. You just splash his arm a little bit, not a big deal.
I mean, it's got the people in the fairy water business. It can't have a very good, mortality rate. Like it can't be a safe industry, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, my favorite thing that happens at 90 plus agility just was occurring there, which is a golem ambushing you because that's what happens.
That's something that drove me wild. That was some of the RNG that I mentioned early in the seed, where we agility came along very fast in the early levels, and I was messing around in Hawksness, and I was trying to figure out, do I want to grind like the Magic Wyverns or Star Wyverns that I've seen floating around, or try to take out this Armor Knight on low HP. And there were so many ambushes from the Armor Knight at 84 agility, or at least 2 or 3 of them, that with such low HP that one ambush swing doesn't set you up to hit the double hurt mores. And so then I tried to run from the Armor Knight and reset the fight and heal up again, and of course run fail as well. So agility, no matter what the build today, as you say, DK, is just a number.
Yeah, and we were talking about it in chat as well. But yeah, my running theory is once you get into the mid to upper 80s, especially, you agility overflow. The agility actually becomes negative, and it actually decreases your chance to run and or not get ambushed. Well, Vriaeliss making it back through here. He's in zone 2. Couple run fails to an Axe Knight, or an Armor Knight rather. Did get a run block to a Golem on his first Golem encounter, which made me laugh as well. But we should be making pretty good strides here into zone 3, where we know there are the Red Dragons before the Red Dragons fight.
Plenty of MP to keep casting Repel to lower the enemy pool to what? Stone Man, Armored Knight, Golem, Red Dragon?
That's right. That's the only things that we can see.
Another relatively smooth dive here for Vriaeliss, and likely going to avoid the mismenu this time, and should dispatch the Dragon Lord.
There we go. Another Golem ambush. Yeah, that's the spite agility check. And he's like, yeah, that does say 98. I'm not sure what's happening here.
You got to make sure sometimes, you know?
This is amazing. Now he gets run blocked again. He gets double run blocked. Oh my god, it's absurd. This game has got it out for him. He's like, what is happening? Use the herbs. Use the herbs.
Well, I think this is what's happening. Vriaeliss is a runner of Dragon Warrior 2, 3, and 4 randomizers as well, frequently submits in the Seed of the Week League. So I bet the run mechanic from Dragon Warrior 2 is flowing over here on his run, trying to manip with the commands, where it's 2 out of 3, no matter what agility, no matter what enemy or stats, because that Golem has no business ambushing at 98 agility so frequently.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. And he does use a second heal more here. I think that's one thing that some runners overlook, is like, you have all those herbs. Just herb up. You have plenty of herbs. Use your resources.
Well, we're coming in with less HP, but still plenty. And we'll be fine. I'm sure it'll go fine.
Yeah, a couple weak swings there for sure. 20 somethings. He's got the 4-shot this Dragon Lord.
24 to finish it off as well.
Yeah, those were some terrible swings there. But he does get opening action here on DL2. Just got to keep an eye on that HP. And again, he's in a good position. So somehow still getting a double, even though he was only at 89 HP there. Starting out strong.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for is the opening double. Over medium rolls on the fairy water too.
Yeah, can't say I've been keeping track of the count. I'm terrible at counting Dragon Lord fights, to be quite honest, without writing the numbers down. But seems to be swinging okay. Oh, it's like we're gonna throw a hurt more here for a moment. Maybe mess around a little bit, but does opt to go back to physicals.
The fake out, you love to see it. From what I've seen, these rolls have looked quite acceptable.
Yeah, I'd agree. We're a couple lower ones, but we're doing 8 to 16 here, and the majority have been at or above our average.
Sorry, I stole all of his doubles.
Yeah, no kidding. You were the double king there, man. You had 3 mid-turn doubles, wisely healing at the end because you didn't have quite enough to cover the range, but close.
Well, the 9 extra HP is more helpful than the extra defense for the doubles, so I think he is just in that range for Vriaeliss where it's not that likely to get a double.
All right, likely 3 swings left on Vriaeliss' end, but doesn't need them. Get some GGs out in chat for Vriaeliss. Gonna finish second in his race there, but does successfully take down him a Dragon Lord. We'll see if he wants to come in and say any words. Oh, you love to see it. He's going to go the long way through, say hi to the king and the princess up here, come down, and then, wow, the king is very fast. He is already here.
Gwaelin is very happy today.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 runners saving Gwaelin. Brian living to his word. I think he said it's been over 2 years since he's used the princess. Counted that out.
Well, this is a fun race to watch. The beginning was pretty similar. Like the first little part was pretty linear, and you all had access to the same tools. But then there was a whole lot of divergence, and so it was pretty interesting to watch and see how it all differed.
And I don't have the race room Destiny, so you have to let us know if Vriaeliss says he's going to come in or not.
Hasn't indicated yet, but confirmed hand spasm miss menu on that first attempt there.
Oh, that sucks. That's even worse, where it wasn't even just a miss menu, but your body actively fighting against your ability to finish the seed.
Yeah, that's a major bummer.
Get that out of the system, and hopefully no more for Vriaeliss the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, it's all about how well you bounce back. You take the lump and then you move on. That's all you can do, right? So that's anything. That's all we can strive for.
Or we're waiting to see if Vriaeliss wants to come in. Destiny, any final thoughts as we wrap up this race one for you today?
GG to Vriaeliss and the runners in the other race on the top half of the quad, Brian Williams and Kigalas. Appreciate you, DK and Hoodie, jumping on commentary today, and Shahali and Vriaeliss are volunteers. We have a couple of more official broadcasts later this afternoon going to be brought to you. Going to hear the two of you on commentary again. Always look forward to that. Tomorrow we have tons of races scheduled all the way out throughout the day. We're trying to get a couple of official broadcasts with that. If you're able to volunteer to get those restreamed and lock in a couple of times, please let us know on the DW Randomizer Discord, as well as commentary and tracking volunteers. As soon as we're able to pin down any of those times, we'll announce that so we can know that schedule. And special thanks to Hoodie Two Shoes for all of the Red Slime Zone unofficial bootleg coverage this week. There's just way too many races to get them all here on the official channel, so appreciate Hoodie and the other folks who have been running some of the Red Slime Zones to get all of these exciting races showcased. We are just about done with the first week of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament. Looking forward to 3 more weeks of group stages. Appreciate so many races getting scheduled. And that's about all I have. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll let you guys send it out.
Well, thank you, Destiny. You took care of the majority of our work here as we wrap up, but it looks like we're going to send it over to Zeldathon. See what's going on over there. I know Angel FM's involved in that. I'm not sure who else may be playing around there, but yeah, like Destiny said, lots more races today. 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern, guaranteed back here on DW Randomizer. So please join us again in just over 2 hours to watch Brian Williams 42 take on Man, and then later is Aaron versus Tilo. That'll be a fun one as well. So any final thoughts, Hoodie, or you want to take us home?
This is a very exciting time. I'm just going to keep reiterating it. This is fun. Live in the moment. We're having a good time. That's all I got.
All right. So for our restreamer today, Vriaeliss, tracking as well alongside with Shihali, my co-com Hoodie Two Shoes. I'm DK9146. Everybody, hope to see you in a couple hours. Have a good Saturday.